Hey everyone, welcome back to Your Knowledge Buddy. Today's video is super important for every UK employer, HR manager, and international worker out there. In the past alone, over 2000 UK companies lost their sponsor licenses, which means they can no longer hire or retain sponsored employees. So, what's really happening behind the scenes? Why are licenses being suspended at this scale? And most importantly, how can companies protect themselves from this happening to them? To help us understand all of this, I have invited Naga, founder of UKVICAS, a platform designed to help companies manage their sponsorship compliance. He's been working closely with businesses and knows exactly where most of them go wrong. So we are going to cover number 1, why licenses are getting revoked. Number 2, how to safeguard your sponsor license. Number 3, the importance of Appendix D. And number 4, home office compliance challenges. And of course, practical solutions every employer should follow and know. So make sure you stay with me till the end of this video. Without any further delay, let's get started by introducing you guys to Naga. Hi Naga, welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy. And if you don't mind, can you please introduce yourself to my audience, please?
Hello Sarika. Good evening. Hi all, my name is Naga. I'm the co-founder of UKVICAS Limited. We are a very famous brand for the UKVA compliance software HR system in the market. Like a quick summary of me. I'm a typical IT consultant. Like I was an enterprise architect. I worked in the IT industry for like 25 years. So I worked for most of the whatever telecom you name. I did solutions for them. So I'm more like a solutioning guy. So I like to provide solutions to my enterprise customer. Then I was little bored with those things. Then I started different challenges. So I found the opportunity. There's a huge demand for some compliance system in the market. Mm-hmm. So I conceived the idea. So then I developed the idea. Then we created this beautiful software and we launched a couple of years ago. And amazingly, we got a huge response because we hit the right market. We understand the demand, right? So now we are fastest growing HR system in UK.
Amazing. Yeah. There's one thing common between you and me. We both are IT people. Yeah, and I think IT people get bored very easily. That's why they try to have some side hustle. Yeah, I started you too.
We always need challenges. Like when we go a higher level, like I was like a director and vice president, right? So we don't need to do. We want to do some more different challenges. Like we need to.
You get bored if you are not being challenged every day,
and
right?
When there's something happening around you, right, and we see some opportunity, right? Obviously, and when we have a solution in mind, so we try to solutionize the problem. So we see the demand. So we have a solution in mind and we have the right team with us. So we develop the solution into a product. Right?
I think what you did, you saw a problem and then you found an opportunity for you to do something there. So, and the problem that we are talking about is the sponsor license and the suspension. And you already know that there's a lot of buzz lately about the sponsor license suspensions, right? So especially after those reports, over 2,000 companies, lost their sponsor license.
Single month.
Yes, in a single month. I was surprised to read that article. 2,000 companies losing their sponsorship in just one single month. Yeah. So what's actually happening behind those numbers? Why such a sudden increase? I'm sure you know about it. Yeah.
So there's a saying called demand versus supply, right? So this country, it's somewhat depend on the immigrants, but it's like a dam. When there is a water level go high, so they have to release some water, and if it is going too low, they have to increase the level of water, right? That is a flow management, right? Similarly, this country, they have to manage the flow of the immigrants, right? This is a small country, it's an island, right? So limited space and limited buildings, limited infrastructure, right? So whenever there is a need, they get people from outside, and when there is surplus, right? So they need to balance the people.
Correct.
Right? So last 3 years ago, there was a lot of rush. There's a huge demand for the migrants worker from outside, right?
Especially carer and senior carer.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. Not only care, NHS, IT, even a meat shop or a juice shop. If you go anywhere, you will find most of these are foreign workers. Because after COVID, there's a surge. There's a demand. They need to balance the European inflow. So they brought people from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and other South Asian countries, right?
Correct.
But to some extent, it went beyond the mark. Yeah. So you know that there's 800,000 migrants moved in the last 4 years.
Correct.
So it's literally it's 5 to 6% of the country's population, right? Yeah. So the country has to provide equal opportunity, enough opportunity for those people and the existing people. So they need to balance it, right? Now all these people are trying to extend their time. For example, the people who came 2 years ago or 3 years ago, this is the time they need to extend their visas, right? So this time the country is taking a right step. So they are checking whether they are the qualified people, whether they are in the right direction, are they paying taxes properly. So they are checking everything. So they don't want to take a risk. So they are doing a proper screening whenever you apply a COS, new COS, or extend a COS, or just change employment, right? So Home Office checking each and everything. So that is why you are seeing like so much of interviews happening. You are helping more students right now. Even students are going through interviews, right?
So I think Home Office already realized the mistake they have done. Now they are trying to rectify it, because maybe they made it very lenient or it was very easy, and now they have realized the mistake maybe, and they are making
so
it
when
more.
there is a demand, sometimes we need to relax it, right? So now it's time to de-relax it. So they need to scrutinize it, right? So whoever in this country, right, or citizens or residents, right, first priority is to safeguard them. So they need to provide equal opportunity or enough opportunity for the existing people. And there are so many people who came in a visas, right? They are not going in the right direction. From my experience, I see like 20% of those 800,000 people not paying payroll. They are not doing taxes. They are not in employment. Even some are trying to find a way to claim benefits. This thing.
Oh, which they are not allowed to do.
Which is not allowed. But somehow they know, they find the holes and they are misusing the opportunity. Right now, this is the time to filter out those people. Right, so they need to give the right opportunity to the right people, right? So that is why they are doing a lot of checks, right? And these are for employment side, and for the employers, right, they need to filter that also, because 5 years ago there are only 30,000 sponsored license holders in UK.
Correct.
Now it is 140,000.
True. Yeah. So I believe those companies, when they apply for the license, they have to do their own due diligence, right?
Exactly.
And then they have to set up their own kind of principles or the legislation which government has put, those are things not
the government
happening.
Clearly gives instructions, like if you are a licensed sponsor, it's not an easy task. So you are taking some commitment that you maintain these things, right? So one of the thing is like employee records, like they call it as a duties, like sponsorship duties, right?
Correct.
Like a record keeping duty or a reporting duty. So you need to fulfill those duties. So now whenever we go for a visa extension or a new COS application, or even randomly they come and do whether you are following all these duties. So it is an easy way for the Home Office to filter out the right people. So out of 140,000 sponsors, right, if they want to reduce a sponsor, the easiest way they can reduce is like, okay, do a digital compliance check.
Can I ask you something? While you were talking, I was thinking, now 140,000 companies who got a license.
Yes.
Now say there are companies who may have created or applied for the license. So when we said the numbers were very high, 2,000 companies who lost their license in a month. So was it because that 2,000 companies applied for a new COS? So the Home Office started checking their process.
It's inclusive of everything. Like, so some company, they extend their existing employee. Some company, they create a new COS.
Okay.
Even some companies, they get a random check.
Okay. So they are.
So without doing anything also, the Home Office does they have the rights.
So Home Office is doing three things then.
Yes.
For all the existing companies, either they are applying for a new COS,
yes,
they're doing a check, and then renewing a visa as well. Yeah. And if they're not doing as well, they're still kind of checking making sure.
Right.
And out of that, the result was 2,000 companies losing.
Anyhow, like the company has to work with the Home Office at least once in a year, because like they might extend their existing COS, right? Or they may get a new COS, right? So obviously they need to go and apply something in the sponsorship system, right?
Yeah.
So whenever they do something in the SMS system, the Home Office get, okay, let us do a check before we grant anything, right? So that's how these 2,000 companies, most of them are got like.
So what are the common reasons you have seen that the companies are losing their sponsor license?
Mainly poor record keeping.
Okay.
The easiest way, like the major chunk of these 2,000, right? I would say like 60 to 70% of the people, they don't maintain the records properly in the system.
Okay.
So because that's a pre-check, like initial step one, right? The first door, if you get locked, you cannot go beyond it, right?
Can you explain more in detail what are those employee check and what needs to be done?
For example, if you are extending a COS, you have an employee, so he's finished 2 years, so you're extending a COS, so you're applying for a COS, right? So the Home Office will ask you, we need to do a digital compliance check, right? They will send an email saying that I need all the records, like how many employees you have. So what are their employment records, right? Give me their passport, their right to work, right? And how you are tracking those employees, like their visa tracking or passport tracking, how you are tracking their work, right? Whether you are paying salaries on time. So everything they will check. So they will send a list of questions in an email. So they will ask you to provide the evidence within 5 days, right? And then if you provide, there is a chance like if 10% of the customer, if they give evidence in a very nice manner, right? They will be satisfied with the thing. Otherwise, they will conduct an interview. So they will schedule a Teams call. So one caseworker will come into the video conference. So you have to show the system. So they will ask you some 50 to 60 questions, like how you maintain your employee records. Right, so they will go through each and everything. Like for example, they will you have to screen share your system. You have to log into the system and share the screen. They will ask you like how you track your passport of the expiry of the employee, right? So where is the timesheet of the employee last month? From which location he worked, right? So where are those pay slips? Are you paying the right salary as per their job? Where is the job contract, right? And if they are non-British employee, the easiest thing you will fail is like the right to work check. The government keep on saying that, okay, any, not only sponsored companies, any company, if you are employing a non-British employee, you have to do an online right to work check. So you can say that I saw their visa, I saw their passport. No, that is not the process. The legal process is you have to get a share code from the migrant worker, and you have to verify the share code with your company details, download the copy, maintain the copy. Whenever you home office ask, you need to show the right to work check.
What happens, Naga, if say some employers, they are like small employers, all this retail off-license store, I know few of them also got licenses, right? And what if they don't know how to navigate the systems or even do a screen sharing, or if they don't have this HR system, how do they deal with
that? That is where people like us help, right? So if you use our system, like for example, if you are using the HR system from us, UKVICAS platform, right? So we provide a complete training. For example, it's just not just a subscription. After they get a subscription, we do a 1.5 hours training to them, showing each and everything. So what are the records you need to maintain, right? How to maintain, right? How frequently you have to maintain, how often you need to check your records, right? So the first 1 week, they have to feed all the information. Once they feed the information, then we also can do assessment, right? We can ask them to share the screen and say, okay, whether everything is in order. We'll post them some questions, like we ask them, right? So whether they maintain everything in order, right? After that, the system will take care. That's the beauty of our system. Like whenever the company the boss or the director want to see the complaints, right? They don't need to call us or they need to call. They can just go to the system. There's a report called compliance report. If you just click one single button, the system will show in a table column like how good you are. So each and every information will come in a single screen. So this was a feature we added like 3 months ago. It was not there last time when we made, right? So we created this automation. So that itself saved like 1.5 hours of your time. Say if you have 50 employees, it may take 6 to 8 hours, right? You need to go each and everything, and you may do some manual errors. But since it's a system driven, so the computer will check each and everything. It will go to each employee and check their records, whether everything is in order. If something is missing, for example, one of the employees not filling the timesheet for the last week, the system will highlight you. Okay, the timesheet is filled only 10 days ago.
So you're using AI now?
I would say like it's algorithm, not too much AI, because like we want to protect our data. So that's the other thing. Like, so it is our customer data, right? So we have a data protection thing. So I cannot put these AI tools into my database, so which we don't want to do. So to be honest, like we are not using any AI, but it is a code. It's just a program, the system.
You will run in the background. And
so it will check and it will show you. Instead of a human checking, the computer will check. But it is not shared with any of the AI platforms, Google or Gemini or nothing.
It's safe, secure.
It is safe because we provide a commitment to our customer that your data is safe.
My first question would be, so all these companies, irrespective of whether they are small, big, medium, they all are aware when they apply for the license, they have to maintain these records. They are already been given some kind of email or guidelines that you have to maintain your data.
The guidance is very clear. For example, if you are applying a license, when you click apply for license, the system say, okay, these are the Appendix D. There's Appendix A, B, C, D, right? The Appendix D is my area. That clearly says, if you just, any of you Google Appendix D, just put these two words, Appendix D. Home Office has a beautiful document.
I have to ask you something. Where can we find this appendix? When someone applies for sponsor license,
yes.
When the license is approved, is that the time when they get appendix?
When you are applying the license, it is your responsibility to read these guidelines.
Okay.
Right? So many people, like when there's a terms and conditions, we just quickly pick yes and then submit.
Correct.
Right? But that means like you are committing something, right? So when you are applying for a license, obviously you have, as a sponsor, you committed to learn all these things. You learn about the tools, systems, regulations, and you have to maintain it. It is your commitment.
Okay.
Right?
And all these details are there in Appendix D.
So Appendix D mainly talks about the record keeping, which is what we specialized in, right? So we are not an immigration lawyer, but we are a digital compliance expert. So our area is whether they maintain records in a proper way, right? So we follow the Appendix D. If there is any changes to Appendix D, our system will update. So we update our systems. If there is some new information we need to add, so we keep updating the system as per the Home Office thing. That is another advantage of running a HR compliance system than a regular HR system. So there are a lot of HR system in the market. Like would say, if you put any word in front of HR, Apple HR, Orange HR, any HR, there's softwares in the market. But those softwares are for HR purpose. It is not specifically for digital compliance purpose. But whereas UKVICAS is bespokely created for digital compliance check.
Just a note for my audience. Myself, I have not read what is in Appendix D. I'm going to read it myself, and I'm going to leave all the links for you guys.
We can share the link.
Pinned comment. Go and read it. If you are a small, medium, or big employer, doesn't really matter. Everybody needs to be aware of what is this Appendix D. Make sure you are familiar with it. Otherwise, your name can be one of the future companies who will be losing your license. So if you are taking that responsibility, make sure you understand everything mentioned there, like Naga was already explaining.
And many people, like, they may think that, okay, I already got the license.
Yes.
Right? So you may apply license 2 years ago or 3 years ago during those golden ages where Home Office is running with very less staff. So if you apply for a license within a week, you may get the license, right? So you would have escaped from the pre-compliance checks. But it's not like that. Now, Home Office can come and knock your door, or they can send email anytime, right? So you have to make sure that you have the right records. And to be honest, like as a gesture of you are providing this opportunity, right? So what we can provide is like, I'll leave my registration link. If you are new to the process, if you want some clarity on that, or if you want to analyze whether you have all the documents in place, just register your details. We have a team. So they will walk you through the process. They will check how compliant you are.
Okay.
If you are using,
and it's like a free session.
It's a free session I'll do.
Good.
So whether you are maintaining manual or you are maintaining some other HR system, because they think that, okay, I'm using XYZ system, but the system might not have all the options needed.
So Naga, once again, can you just tell to my audience what is your website so that they can go and register?
Yeah. So our website is ukvicas.com.
Okay. So and there you go and fill your details with your name, email, phone number.
Just click the register button. So it will just ask your name and company detail and your mobile number.
Yeah.
So our compliance team will set up a session, a video conference session. So they will explain you the process and they will help you how to stay compliant. So even if you are using some other software, no problem. We can help you. Right.
Transition from that to his system.
It's up to because we have a lot of transition because I mentioned, right, we are helping like more than 5,000 customers.
I think it's a good opportunity. If you guys are watching this video, just have a look what this software is. And if you think you have a better software, it's up to you. If you think this software does all the job, which is mentioned in Appendix D, you can give it a try. I have a question about it. When you said, for people or the companies who had already applied 1,000, 40,000, sorry,
140,000.
1,40,000 companies before.
Yeah.
What if the government changes anything in Appendix D? Say they remove a clause, they add it. Will they send a notification to everyone?
So there is a person called authorized officer, level 1 officer, right? In every sponsor company, there is a AO. So the AO email address, they will get a notification.
Okay.
And moreover, Home Office is very good in sending newsletters. So every week or once in 15 days, whatever rule change or regulation change, right? So they will send email about the blogs.
Okay.
And moreover, like we read those emails, right? And then we write our own blog for our audience. Like if you go to my website, there are a lot of beautiful blogs, which are one link I showed you, right? There is a company fined for 80,000 pounds.
Yes, that's an Italian company in Manchester, right?
Yes.
Big company.
So it's a BBC article,
Restaurant,
right? So I did a blog on my site, right? So just for hiring an illegal migrant, right? So why we hired an illegal migrant? Because you didn't do the right to work check. If you follow the Appendix D, if you follow the process, if you did a right to work check, the company might not clearly know, okay, this person doesn't have a right to work in this country. That means he's an illegal worker. So he would have saved 80,000 pounds. He would have
So the
lost his
company,
reputation, right?
Yeah. So the company was charged 80,000 as a fine, right?
I saw many claims from my experience, like 28,000, 40,000 pounds, depends on the size of the company.
Yeah.
So nowadays there is no excuse for illegal migrant hiring.
So you have to check the right to work. That is mandatory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise,
anyone, like again I'm repeating, if you need to check their ID document. If they have a British passport, just take a copy of their passport. If they are non-British, you have to do an online right to work.
Yeah.
Just simple rules.
Yeah.
Right? If the British employee doesn't have a passport copy, you need to get at least his birth certificate, which obviously they should have, and you need to maintain that record in the system. Right? So you have to maintain it all the time.
So it's for both, irrespective of whether you have got immigrant in your company or non-immigrant. For both, you need to have a record.
Yeah.
For the local people, like British passport or ILR holder, if you have.
No, even for ILR holders, you need to do a right to work check.
Oh, right to work check, even for ILR holder.
Only exception, like if you don't have a British passport, if you are not a British citizen,
Okay.
you have to do an online right to work check.
Okay. Okay. So other than British passport
And again,
holder.
this right to work check has expiry.
Okay.
For example, last week I saw one. I got one interview for my company, and these have only 2 months visa. So the right to work is expiring on December 6th. So obviously I didn't hire the employee, but this will give, okay, if you are putting those information in our system, the system will tell you.
Alert you.
It will alert you. This person has only 45 days
Yeah.
work eligibility.
Correct.
So either you have to sponsor him or you need to hire somebody else.
Correct.
Right. So this is the advantage of system, right? So if you cannot imagine, put everything on your head, like, because there are so many commitments for the businesses. I know, like, even a small shop running with 1 employee, 2 employees, right? They have so much of overheads. They'll be traveling every day. Like, they'll be driving a van. They'll go and get the goods. So they cannot sit in the office for all these things.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we created an mobile app this time. So we have a Android and iOS app. So they can just see the alerts in their mobile app as well. Right? It's more handy. So last time when we meet, we don't have an app. I promised you.
Yeah.
So now I fulfilled the promise. So and we are giving this app also free of cost. We are not charging anything for the app as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think.
So whatever update we are doing, we are not charging additional for those things, right? Because last 2.5 years, I'm maintaining the same cost and haven't increased any cost to my software subscription.
Yeah. And in terms of market analysis, so how do you rate yourself, the cost that you're charging the employees? Is it all right? Small amount, minimum?
Technically, like, the maximum fee is £5 per user. The maximum fee.
Oh, okay.
If you go for a longer term, like for example, they go for annual subscription, then they'll be only £4 per user. And if they're having more than 10 employees, they'll be paying only £3 per user.
Okay.
So the more the employees they have, for higher companies, we are just charging just £2 per employee.
Okay. So it's all about per employee.
Yeah, per employee basis. Right. And another thing, like many people think that, okay, I have a license, but I don't have a sponsored employee at this point. So I don't need to maintain the system. It's a wrong myth again. So we are busting the myth. If you have a sponsored license, you have to maintain your records. Even if there is one employee in the company, even if it's a British employee, you need to maintain his records. So your sponsorship duty starts the day you apply, you get the license, till the day you surrender the license.
Okay. And this license doesn't expire anymore,
Yes.
right? Unless until you surrender.
Exactly. So even if there is no employee also, you have to have a system. Because visa, like when there is no employee in the system, but when we apply for additional COS or anything, right, Home Office asks like where are the old records? You need to maintain these records for 2 years, right, to work records.
True.
Right? So if you keep it in a manual base or in a folder, you may get deleted or anything, right? So whereas if you put this in our system, like we take responsibility of the data, we secure it in a proper way, right?
Okay, I learned so much already. I didn't know. I thought, okay, if you have a license but you don't have any immigrant, you just have a local people, maybe you don't have to do it. But the moment you have a license, you're already taking that responsibility that you have to maintain that record keeping system, HR system, and to showcase that to the Home Office.
For new sponsor, like if you have a plan to apply for license, like you develop your company and you have a seriously demand for a niche skill which you couldn't find here, and you thinking to apply a license, now Home Office asks right away. So the moment you apply the license, they'll do the pre-check. So 9 out of 10 applications, it has to go via the pre-licensing check. So they will they'll ask you for records. You have to provide the record, then they will do a digital compliance interview. So you have to clear the interview, then only you will get the license.
Okay. I thought once you get a license, then they will go and buy the software. They will make sure.
It's called a pre-licensing check.
Okay.
So nowadays, 9 out of 10, 90% of the applications, right? Because the reason we have a lot of statistics with us, I am working with top solicitors in UK, right? So every week we have a casual chat. So we understand, they will say, okay, I applied for this particular customer. They got an interview.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I think we learned a lot already today, Naga. At least I learned, and I'm sure my audience as well. And those of you who are business owners or people who have already
I think
applied.
I'll give a couple of case studies like that might help. Like, so recently, last month, we did for a salon, like a hair salon in East London, right? So as usual, it was already rejected license. Why the rejection was, it's clearly say that it doesn't have a HR system. I can even share the screenshot, that particular part, you can show it to your audience. So the license was refused only because it doesn't have a proper system in place. So after 6 months, he again came to us. So we guided them. So this time also, again, since already refused application, Home Office asked for a pre-check application.
Okay.
So
and
they asked,
once it's rejected, after how many days can
6 months.
Okay.
So 6 months you have to wait. So after 6 months he applied, right? So they are using our software because of they already burned their finger last time. So they came the right time. So we guided them. So Home Office asked for a records. That guy sent their information. Home Office canceled the interview.
Oh, okay.
Because the way he provided the evidence, right? So Home Office satisfied with the evidence. They cancelled this interview. So they got the license without the interview because of the quality of the evidence.
Oh, nice.
Right. So when they ask for evidences, like there are way how you show the records. So this country, everything is about paperwork.
Oh, yes.
Right. So they give lot of flexibility, lot of freedom. But at the same time, you have to keep the records.
It's all about
clean.
evidence, not paperwork. As long as it is digital, you can back it up. You are good.
So even think about a caseworker point of view. Like if the caseworker comes for interview, they have a checklist, right?
Yeah.
They need to check all your documents.
Yeah.
Tick, tick, tick. And if you think in their mindset, right? Okay, these are the questions they are going to ask.
Yeah.
If you are prepared with the data, you are confident.
Yeah. Correct. So Naga, we have learned from the case study and everything that you talked about. What are your final thoughts for my audience? Either they are existing, say, sponsor license, or they are in the process of applying, or they want to apply in the future. What do you suggest there?
So I'll summarize in a very simple way. Like for employees, if you are a migrant employee, like you are not non-British employee, if you are working in a company, the company sponsored you, it's your responsibility for your safety. You check whether the company is maintaining records properly. Ask whether they are using a HR system, and if the employer is asking some documents, give it. Right? If they are asking you to fill timesheets, apply leave in the portal, follow it. It is not for their sake, it is for everyone's sake. Similarly for the employers, like if whether you are a small company, single employee, 100 employee, 200 employee, doesn't matter. You have to maintain records in a proper HR system like us, right? For any clarification, feel free to reach us. Like I'll leave my contact details here. Like you can put the URL.
Oh, definitely.
You just need a registration form, just click on that. My team will contact you. They will help you free of cost.
Yeah. So I say it's a responsibility of both. Yeah, because see, if a sponsor license, if a license gets cancelled of a company, it's the people who are working there, they get impacted. So it's a very educational video.
Case studies.
Yeah.
Like out of like how we get business, right? It's not only through employers. There are some employees after seeing these videos or understanding the process, they ask the employers, "Sir, I saw this video."
Yeah.
Even like last time when we did one of your audience, he called his boss.
Yeah.
His boss, he redirected my boss to contact me. We had a session and then he understand the process. So any employee, make sure that your employer is following all these things.
Most of the guys who watch my videos are immigrants. So if you guys are watching my video, if you're already working in the UK with any sponsor license owners now or the companies, make sure you understand your responsibility and also educate your employer. If your employer is a small size companies or medium size companies, maybe they don't pay attention to it. But if they lose license, basically you will lose your job. You will be getting only 60 days before if you don't find your job or sponsor job, you may have to leave country. So make sure you're aware of your responsibility.
Another point, even if they get a nice sponsor, the process is now taking 6 months. Can you believe?
6 months.
You apply for a skilled worker extension or you switch your sponsor.
Yeah.
Very few employees get the visa within 15 days or something.
But issue of CUS is within a couple of days, right? Because as long as you have a CUS, you can be legally in that
legally
company.
there, but think about your mindset. 6 months you need to wait for the decision.
Yeah.
Think about, you cannot sleep properly, like whether the visa will approve or not.
Yeah. That's
if the visa won't get approved, you have to go back.
Yeah.
Right?
It's getting difficult.
So prevention is better than cure. So
yeah. It's better you be informed, take the right steps and be educated, not only yourself, educate your employer. And if any employer or employee, whoever is watching it, make sure you understand what is Appendix D. Links will be provided. I'll provide Naga's details as well, website details. Go and fill the form and it's completely free. Go and speak to the team to see if you have the right software for you or not. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naga. Thank you for coming and
so
educating me and my audience as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And all the best to you.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.